Let's get to the warning from the Reserve Bank of India because they recently flagged intensifying risks. How do you see the outlook then for some of the challenges as we prepare for 2021?
I think the way economy is evolving, perhaps the risks are we're in a position to contain the risk well, and that is something which has been demonstrated in terms of better results of all the banks. And also, we have also seen that the contraction estimates have been, the actual contraction is better than the estimations which were there. And going by those numbers, it appears that maybe in the third quarter of this financial year, which will end in March, we'll probably have at least a small positive number in terms of growth. Though overall for the year, there is likely to be the compression in the economy. But I think that is something that's very positive. And I think what has actually happened is that the banks were expecting worse. So that's why they probably strengthened the risk management significantly. And that is the reason perhaps we're in a position to see much better results as it was expected at the beginning of the pandemic.
Much of the loan growth for SBI has been driven by retail borrowers. How sustainable is that, Dinesh?
Well, I think there is a scope for further increase and improvement in our book as far as the retail book is concerned. And we have seen almost about 14% kind of a growth till the second quarter ending September. So I think I actually for the current quarter also, it might slow down a bit, but I think still we have a very robust growth which we expect from the retail book for the remaining part of the financial year.
What about the role as the country's largest lender in terms of reviving the economy? I mean, what kind of responsibility do you see on that front?
No, I think we are quite aligned to the overall goal for reviving the economy, and we are making all possible efforts. And that is something which you have seen that when it comes to giving support to the SMEs in the country, we have been in the forefront, and we have given all the support to the SMEs. Even government has come out with the various kind of guarantees which they are offering, and we are also extending those guarantees to the SMEs. And wherever restructuring requirement is visualized, we are in the forefront to encourage such borrowers to come for the restructuring. So I think overall, I would like to say that we have ensured enough liquidity in the system. So I think on all the fronts, when it comes to liquidity, when it comes to asset quality maintenance and improving the asset quality, we are in the forefront to give all the support to the SMEs in these trying times.
Yeah.
And also the corporates, whenever they need the liquidity, we are very much there to support any of the liquidity demands.
Sure. There's a working paper that's circulating, Dinesh, where the RBI is contemplating allowing companies to own banks. I mean, I'd like to get you to weigh in on that for me. What's your view?
Well, I think it's more like, as of now, it's an internal working group has given the recommendations. But I think it makes sense, considering the fact that Indian economy is essentially driven by the commercial banking, and the leverage is one of the major component. With the economy growing, there would be potential and room for many more banks. So RBI initially had come out with the thought that they have come out with various kind of recommendations in the recent past. They came out with SME banks, and SME banks are also finding place in the economy. They came out with the lessons on tap, so that is something which was tried out. Now it is for the corporate houses. So I think the most important part in this particular initiative would be to take care of the required amendment to the Banking Regulation Act, etc., so that when it comes to the related party transactions, etc., they should be adequately covered through the legislation. So all that will be tried out. And we have seen that, in the past also, whenever the private sector banks have come, the major and the most important aspect for any commercial bank would be the corporate governance, how well the corporate governance is. And for that, I think the regulator is trying to put in place necessary enabling clauses through the
Sure.
regulation, I think it will go a long way in terms of supporting this initiative.
You've said in the past that you would like to monetize YONO. What do you make of the $40 billion valuation that's been suggested by your predecessor?
No, YONO we had introduced as a delivery platform within the bank when it comes to, it was actually in sync with our ambition of digitalization, and the digital channel was what we had envisaged through YONO. So this is something during the course of when we started leveraging YONO, we have seen that we have almost mobilized about 900 odd million when it comes to liabilities with the help of YONO. And when it comes to our advances book also, assets also, we have underwritten almost about $400 million worth of book. And when it comes to the profitability of this particular book, it turned out to be somewhere around about 150 million. So I think these are some of the numbers which probably would have guided him to make a reference in the passing. Maybe at some stage we will consider this aspect, but yes, of course, as of now it is at a drawing board stage only, and maybe at the material time we'll come and share our plans in this direction.